Hello legends, it's Guan here. Good to see all of you here today. Okay, so now we have the Proshares Bitcoin ETF launched not too long ago, and is now traded on New York Stock Exchange as we are speaking right now. And you might ask, how does it relate to Bitcoin prices? What's the fee structure? Well, and what's the comparison against other Bitcoin ETFs? Alright, so many questions. Let's get into the next segment. Proshares Bitcoin ETF explained. Actually, this Proshares Bitcoin Futures ETF is not the first Bitcoin ETF that's been released to the world. The first Bitcoin ETF was actually launched in early February 2021 in Canada, known as the Purpose Bitcoin ETF. You can say that both Proshares and Purpose Bitcoin ETFs have received a seal of approval from the Securities Commissions. Now, going back to the Proshares Bitcoin ETF, ticker symbol BITO, is the Bitcoin ETF that tracks the Bitcoin futures contract prices, not the actual Bitcoin price. A Bitcoin futures contract price is essentially a traded price between buyers and sellers, where the buyers and sellers have the agreement to buy or sell the Bitcoin later for an agreed upon price. Bro, what the heck, man? What talking you? Speak human language, please. I'm gonna smack you in my shoes if you don't explain properly. Okay, chill, bro. So, suppose you have A and B. B wants to buy Bitcoin from A at $60,000 per piece from A 1 year from now. B and A set up a Bitcoin futures contract. If the current Bitcoin market price rises to $70,000 per piece, B will just want to wait to buy the Bitcoin at $60,000 per piece from A. And now this Bitcoin future contract has a value of $10,000, $70,000 minus the $60,000. At the same time, B can also choose to sell this future contract at $10,000 to other people and gain a profit of $10,000 immediately. But if the Bitcoin current market price drops to $55,000 per piece, this Bitcoin future contract has a negative value of $5,000 now. B will want to pay the $5,000 loss and roll forward to make a new Bitcoin future contract with A at a new Bitcoin buying price. So essentially speaking, the Bitcoin Futures ETF invests into these futures contracts. And since there are millions and millions of traders around the world trading this Bitcoin future contract at any time, it will have a consensus Bitcoin price based on the futures contract, known as the Chicago Mercantile Exchange CF Bitcoin Reference Rate, also known as BRR. And if this BRR rate goes up, the Proshares Bitcoin Futures ETF will go up in value. So happy face. Similarly, when BRR rate goes down, the Proshares Bitcoin Futures ETF will go down in value. Sad face. Take note that BRR is not the actual price of Bitcoin, it's just a consensus Bitcoin price. Aside from that, this Proshares ETF also has holdings in other assets. You can see it from this table over here. You are rest assured that they are not the all-in Bitcoin futures, unlike the Wall Street bet YOLO style. Now you must be wondering, why not just own an actual ETF that tracks the Bitcoin prices? You see, this futures-based ETF is easy for retail and institutional investors to trade. All you need is a brokerage account, a broker that has access to New York Stock Exchange, and of course,
money.
On top of that, investors don't need to create a wallet with unregulated shady-looking crypto exchanges, therefore reducing the operational risk where the crypto exchanges may pull the rug and say sayonara with your money. Now, if you don't want to get rug pulled by some shady crypto exchanges, be sure to like, subscribe, click the bell for new video every Friday. Alright, into the next segment. The fee structure. Of course, all ETFs will have fees. We can't escape fees, just like paying taxes, death, and buying Hermes handbags for the girlfriend. You can't escape them, you know. So in terms of fees, the Proshares Bitcoin ETF has an expense ratio of 0.95%. So hypothetically, if you invest $10,000 in it and assume a 5% return in the first year, your expense fee would be around $95 in the first year. Okay, I have to say that this 0.95% expense fee is really quite high compared to any other low-cost ETFs that are available in the market, such as VOO, SPY, and more. Right now, you must be wondering how this fee structure compares against other Bitcoin's ETFs then. Alright, into the next segment. The comparisons. You know, actually, we have more than 10 cryptocurrency-related ETFs, but I've only selected a handful of relevant ones for this video. Now, we have the Valkyrie Bitcoin Future ETF, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund, Bitcoin Strategy Pro Fund, and Purpose Bitcoin ETFs. See, the first one is Valkyrie Bitcoin Future ETF, ticker symbol VTF. It's similar to the Proshares Bito, where it invests in the Bitcoin futures contract, not the Bitcoin itself. VTF also has the same expense ratio as BITO. It also does not track the price of Bitcoin accurately. The second one is a Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, ticker symbol GBTC. So how GBTC works is that they raise money from the private wealthy investors to buy and hold Bitcoin. GBTC then offers shares into the trust fund itself in the public stock market, therefore allowing the private wealthy investors to sell the shares to you upon listing. The shares in GBTC should reflect roughly the value of Bitcoin, although not accurately. And GBTC has an expense ratio of 2%. Dang, that's a lot of juice for the trust committee. Like a blood-sucking vampire, man. I think they'll probably declare bankruptcy if I invest in this trust.
I declare bankruptcy!
The third one is a Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund, ticker symbol BITW. The fund buys and owns the top 10 cryptocurrencies weighted by market cap, so you get direct exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and more. You'll get accurate tracking of Bitcoin price as well. Now, BITW has an expense ratio of 2.5%. Holy crap, that's a lot of damage for investors.
Oh, that's a lot of damage!
The fourth one is a Bitcoin Strategy Pro Fund, ticker symbol BTCFX. BTCFX does not invest directly in Bitcoin, but rather Bitcoin futures contracts. Therefore, this is not accurate tracking of Bitcoin price. It has an expense ratio of 1.45%. And the fifth one is the Purpose Bitcoin ETF, ticker symbol BTCC. Take note that this ETF has three versions of ETF, namely BTCC, BTCC.B, BTCC.U. Wait, what?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, the BTCC is the ETF that's purchased with the Canadian dollars and hedges US dollar currency. BTCC-B is the ETF that is also purchased with Canadian dollars and it does not hedge against the US dollar currency. Finally, BTCC.U is to be purchased with US dollars only. All three of these BTCC ETFs have an expense ratio of 1% and they buy and hold Bitcoin directly, giving you the direct exposure and accurate tracking of the Bitcoin price. With so many Bitcoin-related ETFs available on the market, which one should you choose then? Alright, into the next segment. My final thoughts. All in all, it comes down to your risk tolerance and your desire to own real Bitcoin or not. As you can see now, there are tons of Bitcoin ETFs that operate differently. This also depends on if you are comfortable in dealing with unregulated cryptocurrency exchanges and have wallets in your system. If you are not comfortable dealing with unregulated cryptocurrency exchanges and you want to own Bitcoin itself, perhaps a cold wallet would be a better choice. But if you ask me personally, I wouldn't go anywhere close to these Bitcoin ETFs, simply because I don't know how to value Bitcoin as an investment. Because you see, paying more than 1% expense fee for something that I don't know how to value is a quicker way to lose money than flushing down money into the toilet. Don't you think so? So, do you find any of these Bitcoin ETFs attractive? Or do you prefer to have your own wallet and own the Bitcoin yourself instead? Comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to like, sub, click the bell for more video every Friday. And I will see you legends in the next one.